Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the King Kevin Show. Thank you for tuning in. It is always a blessing to be doing the show. As you guys already know, it is dear to my heart to continue with the King Kevin Show every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So how y'all doing, peoples? I hope all is well, all is good. Talk to me. Tonight will be about the importance of feeding your brain. Because Lord knows some of y'all I don't know what you feeding your brains out there. But we're going to correct that today. We are definitely going to get that in order. So blessings everybody. Let's start the night with a prayer. Of course, I'm the host, Kevin Dorival. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope the sound is tight. I hope the sound is right and dynamite, like JJ will always say. So let me go ahead and mute this Sade Kiss of Life. God's great, God's good. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings. Thank you, Lord, for your grace. Thank you for allowing me to do this show tonight. I thank you. We bless you. I hope everyone gets inspired and empowered to prosper. Thank you for everything. I let the words that come out of my mouth be yours, God. You're the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. In Jesus' name, Lord, we pray, amen. Yes. All right. I got a few things to say. Definitely, I always have something on my mind, and as so should you. That's what life's about. Life's about having something to say that's going to be a blessing to other people. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Max Jewelry up there at the Oakland Park flea market. He hooked up a couple of my watches today. He did an awesome job. He's the booth number 1855. It's all the way at the corner. For those of you in Fort Lauderdale, you know Oakland Park Flea Market is that. He's all the way at the corner on the right side. Good cat, definitely humble brother. He gave me some tips on women and everything today, so I thank you for that. If you want to give him a call, it's 305-300-6150. That's 305-300-6150 Max Jewelry. And you guys can always get advertising on my show. And also artists, get your music played. Why not? Invest in yourself, invest in your music and your livelihood, But let's speak about the power of the mind. Now, I got to say one more thing before I forget. I got all this stuff going on in my office. I love my office. Yes, it's a blessing. Don't forget, the Courage to Believe documentary is, in fact, right now, we're still doing the fundraiser. We are still collecting funds for it. So please contact me. You go to my website, thecouragetobelieve.com. And this film is going to be groundbreaking. There's some new ideas that came about that hit my mind. We're going to talk about that as well in the show. And just how when you focus on an idea, how it can definitely propel you to another idea. You just never know how things turn out. One idea could actually be something that becomes the precursor for another one. So never put aside an idea. And I'm definitely not putting aside my documentary, to my book. So just stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitter. Much love to people that's hitting me up on Twitter right now, giving me advice and tips and things like that. And also the donations. Somebody just donated some money to me, a couple $100. I thank you for that. You know who you are. They want to remain anonymous, which is cool with me. Just and you can also mail a check into my P.O. box. You go to my website, go to the contact page of thecouragetobelieve.com to find that out, or go to PayPal. My email is kevindorwell@gmail. First and last name at Gmail. But anyway, to the business. We got the MLK parade coming up this Monday. And also the Teen Summit is coming up at the African American Research Library here in Fort Lauderdale off Sis Trunk at 27th. And then there's a reception that I'm very excited to be part of in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King at the Fort Lauderdale Museum, which is a very large and wow, gorgeous museum. So I haven't been in that museum in years, but I am glad to take part in it this Saturday. Okay, so I know you guys, some of the men are sad that football season is about to be over. hey, it is what it is. You know, we just got to keep marching, and the women get, you know, they get their power back. You know, now they're gonna be they're gonna be controlling the TVs now. You know, so shout out to everybody who's playing in the games this weekend. There's gonna be some pretty big games coming up, so I hope everybody enjoys themselves and you know, all that good stuff. Now, the importance of feeding your mind. A lot of us are feeding our minds a lot of garbage. And naturally, especially if you're coming from an environment where that isn't conducive for success, many times, you know, in the ghetto, it is what it is. It's not really conducive for success, you know, around people that are not ambitious, you know, certain areas, certain schools. All of that plays a vital role, and believe me, you guys want to pay attention to this. You know, this is going to be a very powerful show, and I hope that everyone who is listening take notes and take heed to it. Now, you can always call in at 305-600-5916. That's 305-600-5916 to learn, you know, to call in, give me your advice or opinion on the matter. Now, the brain, there's a myth that we only use 10% of our brain. Believe it or not, that's not really, that's just a myth. You know, we use more of our brain than that. We're about to play a song by Dietrich Haddon, Ruben Studdard, and Mary. I heard Ruben just got married, so congratulations. I think I heard that before somewhere. Now, when it comes to the brain, it's 85% water, if I'm not mistaken. So you definitely got to continue feeding yourself water, not just the physical water that we drink, the liquid water, but the waters of life itself. You know, you want to water yourself. You know, water your brain with love. Water yourself with good music. And there's many types of music. You know, of course, you all know there's rap, there's country, there's hip hop, there's R&B, there's classic, there's gospel, there's rock and roll. You know, the heavy metal stuff. You're into that. You got the salsa. You know, salsa music. You got the reggae. There's many variables. However, there are some music that has been proven to be conducive for success, and which is going to trigger your super conscious mind. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the creative intelligence. Now, all of my life, and I literally mean all of my life, I've always believed in myself. That is vitally important, because you got to believe in yourself on top of concentrating on the things that you actually want to obtain, those goals. Anyone who knows me know that I am goal oriented. You know that. There's no doubt about it. When you talk in cabinet, it better be about something productive, something that is positive, and something that's going to be a blessing to either me or you. I refuse to be on the phone, text, Facebook, and all that just to be doing it. It has to be about something moving forward. Because the reason why I created that mindset, or I can say my circumstances in life created that mindset, is because I was so used to failing in life. So I knew that it was extremely important for me to be around people that wanted to go somewhere. You know, that environment. Now, there's a trinity: mind, body, and spirit. I exercise all three of those things. And the reason why those things are important, and the reason why you should exercise them, because if you don't, they become stagnant. They become complacent. You become complacent. There's a saying that your world is really your thoughts. And there's something that's very interesting about that, because on my flyers that you see here, I have this saying here, and I hope you guys can read it. It says, change your world, change your thoughts, and you change your world. You see that? And I wasn't thinking about this show or making a video on this topic until one day I was thinking, like, how can I actually make a big difference? How can I make a big difference in other people's lives? How can I show that anything is possible for those that believe? And I don't have I do have my Bible, but I was looking for my study Bible. And that's in the scriptures. In the book of Job, which I hope one of my Bible heads, but any of my spiritual brothers and sisters who are watching this show, there's in Job, and hope you guys just find it for me and shoot me a text or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. Courage2Believe, that's my Twitter and Instagram. Job has said the very thing that I dwelled upon, that I feared, happened. If it's not in Job, I'm mistaken. I'm sorry, but I believe it's in Job. And he said that because his thoughts started thinking, and he was in a negative situation, a bad situation, evil situation, a horrible situation, when he was losing everything. For those of you who don't know the book of Job, which was, by the way, my mother's favorite book in the Bible. I mean, she stayed in Job. The fact that he continued thinking upon what was happening, it continued to magnify. So he was losing his farm, losing his animals, losing his property. Then he started losing his kids and losing his wife. And things just continued propelling because he kept himself in that world of negativity. And if you stay tuned into the show, you will see how and why, when you continue dwelling on those things, how they magnify. That is why it's vitally important to go to church. That's why it's important to go to libraries. And I'm not just saying any church, because you'd be going to a church of Satan, and God forbid. But go to a positive church that is talking about the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That is talking about actual love. Not the love that comes from hate, but actually love that comes from love, which Dr. Wilson Amos spoke about. We're going to talk about Mr. Wilson. He's going to be our Black History celebrity for the day. Happy birthday to him, because I forget to say that. I said it. Now, being around places with love, being around that water, watering your spirit, watering your mind and your body, it has a very huge impact on the way you see the world, and the way you see the universe, and the way you call things into existence. And that's what that's what I want to get to all of you to understand and comprehend, that by you thinking positive, by you speaking positive, that's what you get back in return. That's what actually happens. That's why I call the show the importance of feeding your mind. I cannot stress how crucial that is. I cannot stress how important that is. And I cannot stress how and why so many of our families, so many of our brothers and sisters, and it doesn't matter what color or what religion you're in, we are brothers and sisters. It's all one love. In my book, it is all one love. Okay? So please take notes if you got to. Hit me up. You have the number 305-600-5916, or shoot me a message on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Now, I want you guys to think about this. We're going to think about, and yes, I actually have a headache, but I'm doing this for a reason, not because of the headache. I want you to think about your brain. Close your eyes, put your fingers on your temples, and I want you to think about life. I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about your brain as a radio. I want you to think about your brain as a heat-seeking missile. And I want you to think about your brain as a computer. So pick one or the other, because we're actually going to do an example for each one of those. But let's start with the heat-seeking missile. I want you to take a second or two And think about that one goal, that one dream that just seems so elusive, out of your grasp. A dream so big, but you know you can do it. Somewhere in your spirit is telling you can do it. God is speaking to you that you can do it. Because you can. It has already happened. It's just a matter of you reaching it. As that missile, that goal is your target. And those of you who know what a heat-seeking missile is, you know that it is attracted to heat, intense amount of heat. So your goal is going to be that heat. It's going to be like a heat wave. Now, as you are thinking about that goal, that dream of yours, that passion, only you know what that is. What you're going to have to do is to envision that missile flying in the air. You're going to have some roadblocks. That's okay. The roadblocks isn't the heat. They're cold. Therefore, they're not your target. Don't waste your time there. Deal with it and continue to push forward. Continue to think about that goal. Concentrate. This is what you call the law of concentration. It's where you are able to put everything aside and only surround yourself in your mind, in your thinking, in your thoughts, in your actions, your phone calls, your emails, pertaining to this one goal. And as you're getting closer to that goal in your mind right now, that goal is getting bigger and the missile is coming faster. Imagine that missile swirling in the air, but still moving straight, still moving forward, still being productive. Imagine it swirling in the air in circles, but moving forward, like a spiral, like a football. And finally, you hit that mark. And I want you to think about, once you reach that mark, once you reach that goal, that dream, that invention, that college degree, that business you wanted to start. Once you obtain it, think about the celebration. Rub your hands, your fingers on your temple, and think about the celebration that you're going to do once you obtain that goal, once that dream is yours. I want you to celebrate in your mind. And the reason why you are celebrating in your mind is because you are speaking it into existence. You are thanking God in advance through your celebration. Picture yourself praying and giving God thanks, giving God the glory for the victory you have won. That's what it's all about. It's about being able to concentrate 110%. Is that ability to put your cell phone aside. That ability to stop texting. To focus on that dream or that goal. The ability to get off of Facebook and Twitter now. Don't get it twisted. You're going to use those tools, the texting, the emails, the social media, to promote what you're putting out there, because you got to put it out there. But you don't want to fight so hard. You don't want to fight so hard that you miss the mark. You miss the goal. You miss the dream. Because that's what a lot of times happens to many of us. We try so hard, and I know how it feels when you try so hard and you don't make it. And the reason that happens is because we've tried to force that dream or goal into a place in a time where it wasn't appropriate. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for love. There's a time and place for hate. There's a time and place for love making. There's even a time and place to kill, according to the word. There's a time and place to defend yourself. There's a time and place to shut up. There's a time and place to obtain your goals, your dreams. You have to do it. You just have to. Some of you have a dream or goal that is so big and so massive that a whole generation is waiting for you to obtain it. A whole generation. Imagine that. Now, there's another thing that helps you in producing that conducive environment for success, because that's what you all listen to the show. It's the music you listen to, as I mentioned before. That sets up the environment. If you ever notice in church how the gospel music is playing, how the worship session, the praise music, and everyone is just excited, praising God, thanking God, and everything is just flowing, and everybody's spirit just get lifted and it get excited, so just ready for the word. That's because the environment, and my pastor Yvette, she said this, my pastor's wife at Redeeming Word, she said we do this to set up the environment, to scare away the enemy, and to invite God in, invite His presence there. And it's the same thing in life outside the walls of church. You have to do that in order to set your mind at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, your brain is a terrible thing to waste. I just had to say that. But honestly, your brain is the most powerful. It's the most powerful tool you have. So use it. Don't allow the television to rule what you're thinking about. Don't allow the television to rule your life. Don't let the radio do that. Don't let the internet do that. You have to feed yourself knowledge. That's your mind. Mind, body, spirit. Remember. Read. Pick up a book. I mean, on my desk right now. You guys know the book I'm reading right now? I'm reading right now a book about the pharaohs. Actually, it's one of the books I'm reading. It's actually, I can show you guys if you want. But I'm reading this book because I'm very interested in what our ancestors were thinking about. This book here is called Egypt's Dazzling Sun. They were able, our ancestors, and I always talk about our ancestors. I'm always going to do that because they knew something we didn't. They had thousands of years. Thousands upon thousands, 10,000, 20,000, who knows how long they had to research, accumulate evidence, scientific experiments, and you wonder how were they able to concentrate if they didn't have the technology that we have today. But believe it or not, they had their own technology. No, they didn't have computers physically with microchips and all this other stuff, but they did have a computer in their minds. They ate healthy, which we're going to talk about as well. Eating healthy. That's another thing that gives you an opportunity to be successful. What are you eating? Are you feeding your body? Which is the second part. Mind, body, spirit. What are you eating? Are you waking up eating pickled eggs and hot sausages early in the morning? Huh? Is that what you think is going to activate the powers of your brain? No, that's not going to do it. You have to take care of your body by eating. I mean, apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what they say. But even though the fruits and veggies doesn't have the nutrients that they had back in the day, with all the chemicals and stuff that they're putting in there, but it is important. Berries, the berries that you eat. There's blueberries, there's raspberries, there's cranberries, there's the goji berries. Then there's a South American Ikea berry. Now, the foods that I like to eat, to be honest with you, I love eating eggs and grits and sausages in the morning. I just learned how to chop up potatoes, actually, in small pieces. and saute them, with some onions. It is a delicious breakfast. Takes a little time, but it's great. Believe me. You guys want the recipe? Hit me up. A friend of mine's taught me that. So shout out to the queen. She knows who she is, Jennifer, Queen Jennifer. Now, yellow, orange, and green vegetables. They have something. It is rich in beta carotene. This is a powerful antioxidant that our body actually needs. It's the, I used that word earlier, but it converts to vitamin A. It's a precursor to vitamin A. So you're getting best of two worlds right there. You're getting the antioxidants that you need, and you're getting the vitamin A. Now, dark leafy green veggies and citrus fruits, of course, they're packed with vitamin C. We all know that. The grapefruits, the oranges, get some lemons in there. Things like that are great for you, And the best foods to eat with the highest beta carotene, that's mangoes, which I love mangoes. We have great mangoes down here in South Florida. You guys not in South Florida, you never had a mango from here, from Florida, get some, okay? When you come down to visit, ask a grocery store or someone. Best I get mine, they're selling 50 cents to $1 in the stores, but my grandmas and different friends and aunties, they all have mango trees out here. So I'm blessed with baskets of them. Oranges, carrots, broccoli, tomato, red, yellow, green peppers. Those are all good things for you. And believe it or not, when you wake up in the morning, the best thing for your brain in the morning isn't the eggs and sausages I was talking about earlier, but it's actually oatmeal. This is natural brain foods. So not only is it warm, but it's great for your brain. This gives your brain the opportunity to have an awesome start. So if you wonder why your mom or your grandma always had you eating oatmeal in the morning, whether they knew it or not, it's because it is rich in brain food. It's warm. It's the oats in it. It's awesome. You definitely want to get part of that. Now, the late nights. Now, I am an avid late night eater. And by the way, if you guys wondering what song is playing right now, it's a song by Ofri's. It's Ofri's Suite for Piano 6. If you go to my YouTube, you see that I liked it. It's a classical song. I love classical music. It's just me. I've always loved it. Something that it puts me into an environment greater than where I am. I've been rich since I was born. You know what I mean? I had that revelation. I've been rich since I was born, not because of my financial status, which is about to change dramatically this year. Thank God. And I'm speaking it because I believe it. But I always believed, I gotta stop saying but, by the way. I've always believed that I was someone great long ago, another lifetime. So it's no wonder I'm reading books like this, Egypt's Dazzling Sun by Imhotep and Queen Tiye, all the dynasties. As if I'm trying to find my roots. I'm looking for my roots. That's why I read books. I read books because it empowers me. Books is what makes me who I am. That knowledge, the power in it. All of that is something that we all need and we must all strive for. Knowledge is power. Now, the late night meal is something that I must stop. I gotta stop somewhere. Is that it affects the way your body sleeps, because your body is always moving. It's trying to digest the food late night when it should be resting. You need to select foods that stimulate your taste buds and your brain, and that is why it's important to go ahead and get some seafood into yourself, some salmon, some tuna. Sardines, those are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, powerful and versatile nutrients. I have a pack of sardines. It's a sardines and tuna in my cabinet. I need to go ahead and get some of that. But so I definitely want to make sure that we spoke about some of the health, the reasons why you should eat healthy and jog. You can't beat jogging. Jogging is a win-win situation. You cannot lose. You can't lose doing that. It's great for your health. It's going to make you look sexier. If you're a woman, it is vitally important that you jog, because if you don't have kids now and you don't like the way your body is, or you're not confident in your body, and you don't have kids, please go and jog. Even if you do have kids, if you just had some children, go ahead, take care of your body, because I believe not just in eating healthy, but also exercising. No pain, no gain. Get out there, look sexy for your man or for your potential king. That's important. In my book, it is. I love a woman that looks good and she jogs, she eats healthy. I mean, you super fine. Cause ain't too many women doing that. But there are a lot of women in the gym. But get out there, go out, jog, inhale Mother Nature. That's gonna benefit the Trinity: your mind, body, and spirit. I was jogging this morning. It was kind of drizzling outside, cold, 60 degrees, 65 degrees. And I felt great. But one thing I did differently, because normally what I do is I go out and I go jogging first. Of course, you guys should know by now, I jog on the golf course. The beautiful trees. There's trees with blossoming yellow flowers, and you got pink flowers. You got the straight green flowers. You got the lake with the ducks and swans, all over the place. You got the fresh air. There's no cars. That's why I do that, because it enriches my spirit. I'm able to think. A lot of ideas hit me while I'm jogging. A lot of ideas hit me while I'm in church. A lot of ideas hit me while I'm in my library, my office. I say this because it's a positive environment which is conducive for success. That is why we all need to go ahead, take care of our bodies, take care of our minds. Don't be scared of it. It's for you. Because once you die, there's one thing about life. You can't take your body with you when you die. Your spirit is gone. So take care of it. Be mindful of that. I mean, I can't stress it more than what I'm saying right now. Your brain. It's extremely powerful. Think about it. How did our ancestors build those pyramids? How did they do that? They had to have more of an access to their brain. They say we only use 10%, which they really can't prove, which is my opinion. They can't prove that. But obviously, they were able to build magnificent monuments, fabulous infrastructures, boats, gardens, statues. The statues alone, oh my God, those things are massive. How did they do it? How did the Indians and the Africans who was here along the Mississippi River were able to build those great pyramids? How were the Aztecs? How were they able to do those beautiful pyramids? How? It was brain power and unity and love. That made them extremely powerful, and that is what's going to make us even more powerful, because we have the technology, but we lack in the unity, which I believe will transform once we all begin to use more of our brain, feeding it more every day, in our bodies, in our spirits. Pray. It's important to have a prayer life. It's important to thank God, not just for what you have, but for what you're able to do for other people, which is what life is all about at the end of the day. Not feeding yourself the negativity that comes from a lot of rap music. To be honest with you, I probably listen to 5% rap music, if that. I'm talking about including gospel rap, which is, pretty good. But I do that because I've become conscious. My super conscious has been activated, so therefore I must feed it. Like I said earlier, imagine your mind as a computer. And that internal hard drive has to be tuned. It has to be, in order for it to work, you have to be using the computer. So you got to use your brain. You follow what I'm saying? Like frequency of a radio station or a radio itself. Now, naturally, we're in a society today that, there's a lot of self-doubt, and that affects the way you see yourself. That affects the way you believe, your belief system. Self-doubt is a bad frequency. It's a very low frequency. And the way to turn up that radio, in your head, your brain frequency, to get to another higher level, to universal intelligence, you have to draw in those good things, those happy thoughts. You have to draw in those people in your life that you need to propel you to the next level. That is crucial. That is vitally important. That is what's going to make you grow. That's what's going to allow you to have that self-development. That's what's going to allow you to be that king or queen that you are. You follow what I'm saying? That standalone intelligence, that's not where it's at. You need that whole brain intelligence. You have to use as much of your brain as possible. And only going to do that is by using it on a daily basis. You need to have that euphoria. Let me rewind. Once you obtain success, now you're going to, you've obtained this euphoria. Now you're going to want more success. So you're going to continue doing the things that worked. I hope. Because continue doing the same thing day after day, month after month, year after year, and expecting a different outcome, that's insanity. But we're going to break that. Your creative intelligence isn't based on your family history. It isn't based on your income. It isn't based on your mistakes that you made in the past. It's not about that. It is all about you creating that mindset of success. It's all about creating that mindset of love. It's all about that mindset of productivity and loving and caring. You have to be able to be someone that can take yourself out of that negative situation. You have to change that frequency of negativity. There was an experiment. I'm sorry, I need to drink some water. You guys give me one moment. I'm starting to lose my voice. It's been one of those days. But I'm going to tell you guys about an experiment. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Just listen up. And I'm still here. 1 second. Thank you. There was an experiment done with children, right? Now, these kids were from 2 to 4, which is the highest level of creativity. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because when kids are born, they have all these ideas, and children are a blessing, not just to the community. I should say the other way around. Not just to the parents, but to the community. Because they bring the best out of people. And I've always said that I would always love when my nieces and nephews came by. Because especially when they was young. Especially when they were about 8 years old. I had some pictures of one of my nephews. He was doing pull-ups at the age of 4 years old. Was it 4? No, not even 4. I'm tripping. He was like 8 months old. And he was doing pull-ups on my dresser. I have the picture right now, which I will show you guys. But I'll show it some other time. But these children, they did this experiment, and 95% of these young kids from age 2 to 4, they were testing were highly creative because this is where the point where they're innovative, their imagination is just out of this world. The imagery, of these images are abstract. They have no hold bars on their minds. So they're going to continue to create things. They're going to continue to imagine. They're going to continue to build. They're going to continue to be in this fantasy world of creativity. That's why they're always drawing on things. It's because that's their minds racing. And as they got older, those same kids at about age of 7 years old, only 4% continued that level of imagination and creativity. And do you know why? It was because when you grow older, people are going to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that, this is stupid, this is dumb. 2 words that I hate. Anybody who knows me, you can call me anything in the world, but do not call me those 2 things. And these young kids were restricted. And that's what happens to us when we become grown adults. We become restricted on the things we want to do in life because people are always telling us we can't do it. So they build this world in our heads of restriction. They build this world of barricades and walls and defenses and offenses. When we were young, we were free. We were free like birds. We were free like eagles. Free like dolphins in the ocean, in the waters. And the ocean is so deep. You know, like the young man called it infinite waters. Infinite waters. You just don't know how deep you can go with your thinking. But when you are thinking, you must be careful and be sure that you're thinking about positive things. You're thinking about your dreams and your goals. If and only if they are righteous and they are of love. And that's vitally important. Because once you have an idea, like that missile, you're going to gain momentum. You're going to continue building momentum. Other ideas pertaining to that idea is going to grow. You're going to get even better idea. In the circle that you're around, the people you hang around, they're going to give you even more ideas. And next thing you know it, you have a masterpiece. True story. For my stage play, The Courage to Believe. And by the way, the song you guys was listening to was by Sade, which is Your Love is King. And I know my love is king. I love her music, so we're going to play some of her music because it is positive. It makes you, it makes you happy. It puts your mind at ease, and that's what's important. This is what the show is all about: feeding your mind and being positive, and not worrying about what the news is saying. Don't forget what the naysayers are saying. Don't dwell on those things, especially when they are negative and they are hurtful to your spirit. That's why I don't watch the news. People be like, "Yeah, why you watch the news? How you gonna know what's going on and this and that?" It's because I really don't care about those things, because I care about what I believe and what God told me to do. You know what I mean? So I used to be very creative when I was young. I'm not as creative, on that aspect, but believe me, any of my siblings would tell you that. And I just want you guys to get back to that childhood. And even when Jesus was talking, you must be like the child to get into the kingdom of God. You got to be like the child. You got to be able to think. You have to be able to get into that world again of when you just didn't care. You didn't have a care in the world. You were just being positive. You were being thankful. You were loving life. Life was loving you. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Love. The law of use. Either you use your brain or you lose it. Don't let your brain just go to waste because whatever the case may be, that you just are complacent with how things are. Wake up, take a shower, eat, go to work, take a shower, eat, watch TV, go to sleep. That cannot be the life if you're going to be successful. So the law of use is vitally important. That creative facility. There's a creative facility in your brain. So if you don't use it, it becomes buried underground. You have to be able to resurrect that, and you can by believing yourself. Because you just can't believe. You have to put that You just can't say, okay, I'm going to obtain that. You have to be able to focus on that goal, solely on that goal, almost become possessed to obtain that goal, but believe in yourself as well. That confidence backs it up. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? When you trigger your super conscious mind, you have to do two things. You have to be clear on what you want your mind to do. The level of clarity has to be so high that there is no room for ambiguity. Can't be ambiguous about anything. It has to be clear, cut, concise. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be flaky. I'm not gonna be fickle. This is what I am going to do. You have to be decisive on that goal, because if you're not decisive, now your brain is pulling all these ideas and like an octopus, it's grabbing everything now. So you got to be decisive. Boom! I'm gonna do this today. That's it. And your super conscious mind will be activated. Now, another thing I wanted to make sure that I mentioned before the night is over was about, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Amos Wilson. I'm going to put a pause on Sweetest Taboo by Sade. Man, I love that song. We're going to play something that Mr. Amos said in his video. And definitely, hit me up, thecouragetobelieve.com. Go to my website and get more information. I'm going to write a blog on what he's talking about and have a newsletter coming out as well. But let me not break the vibe on what we was talking about regarding this. We're going to go to Mr. Amos, and so I want you guys to listen for about 30 seconds. All right? For 30 seconds, we're going to speak about, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. I had my sister and a friend here last night listening to this this film about black love, black male and female relationships, and I think you guys are going to find this very interesting. Okay, now here we go. Let's do it. Now that is Mr. Amos Wilson. This guy is phenomenal. Happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday, actually. He's an African American author, obviously. He was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi in 1941. And he passed away January 14, 1995. So he's been gone for a little while now. So rest in peace to him and all our ancestors that are buried, but their spirits are still here. Now, he held positions as social caseworker, psychological counselor, supervising probation officer in New York, and also taught at the City University of New York as assistant professor of psychology. And he was a probation officer for the juvenile justice in the state of New York as well. So this guy is definitely he was doing his thing. He was doing his very best to improve the lives of our community, the world. Now, he wasn't one of those guys like, I hate white folks and this and that, yada yada, but he told it like it was, using historical facts, because one of the things that I love what he was talking about, what you just heard, was the different types of love. We love people that keeps us in our mess, who sustains us in our chaos, which shouldn't be so. And the reason why I played this film, because he's like being a psychologist, is dealing with the mind. Now, he wrote a book called The Developmental Psychological Aspect of a Black Child. He also wrote on Black Violence, The Psychodemic of Black Self-Annihilation in the Service of White Domination. Wow, that book sounds very serious. And Understanding the Black Male Adolescent's Violence. It's prevention and remediation, which is so he has about 4 or 5 books. I definitely want to give him a shout out for the Black History Month. This is our Black History segment. You guys know I do this every show. Every day is Black History. I don't care where you from, where you at. You should definitely read up on a lot of the history and a lot of the things that people like him has contributed to society. To make this world a better place, because that video we watched, which you guys can definitely go check on YouTube, and I'm going to write a blog about what he spoke about. This video is 2 hours long. So as I'm working, I'm listening to this video, and the first time I was listening, it was so deep, I literally had to stop watching the video. It was like, I'm going to watch it when I get home, so I can connect my laptop to the big screen TV and watch it and take notes and listen. And that's exactly what I did. It was very profound, very, very deep. He has many good videos, and he mentioned something else about deception. A lot of us are being deceived to think that we are actually living a good life. That we're deceived by the media, thinking that all is well. That this is how we should be. We should act like buffoons and morons in certain situations with these reality shows. And you must be careful. The television. If any of you ever watched that one Batman movie where Jim Carrey played the what's his name, the question mark man, the Riddler. That's what he played, the Riddler. And the Riddler, what he did was he had a tool that he used to plug on people's head. Like you plug on your head and you watch the television set. And as you watch the television set, what happens is that you begin to get brainwashed, and when I seen that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Brainwashed. Who wants to get brainwashed? But that's what they were doing. People didn't know it. They was brainwashed themselves, letting the television, the tube, suck their minds and turn them to zombies. And that part of that movie, I believe, was prophetic. There's no doubt about it. The way we connect to our cell phones, it is ridiculous. And I thank God that I'm able to turn my cell phone off and vibrate or just ignore it at will. And I'm not drawn to it like that. I don't care who's texting me. I don't care who is calling me all the time. Of course, some calls and texts and emails are important, but your peace of mind is even more important. And that's what I want you all to get from the show, is to understand that how important your mind is, how vitally, how crucial it is that you continue to feed your mind with positivity. And I can't stress that any more than I have already. I definitely want you all to learn more. And there's one thing I'm going to give you all before I leave. I almost forgot about this example. When you are actually, you have an idea in your head, and I almost forgot to mention this, another thing as well. Thank you for talking about the mind. But see, the water helped me get these ideas back into my head. But when you have an idea, just like when you're thirsty, when you are thirsty, you go and do what? You get water immediately, right? You go and drink something immediately. You don't wait if you don't have to wait. And what I do is, and I don't know if I have my notebook here with me now, but I do use my iPod, and I have a small notebook that's on the other side of the office. But write those ideas down immediately. Don't wait. Don't wait until you get home, or don't wait until you get into a comfortable situation. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, text it to yourself, email it to yourself, put or record it. Record that idea at that very moment, because if you don't do that, sometimes you will lose that idea. I've had ideas so great, I had ideas that I thought were just like, wow, thank God, and I hesitated for a moment or two, and thinking like, this idea is too good. There's no way I can forget it, right? That's what you think. And guess what? I forgot about the idea. But sometimes, that idea is so deep in your spirit that it may come back to you a year or two later, or months later. It happened to me a year or two later. The idea hit me. I was like, wow, thank God that idea came back, because I remembered, but I forgot to write it down. So therefore, I forgot it. Now that's what you guys must do. You have an idea, write that idea down immediately. Write that idea down. Get this earpiece off my ear. Write it down as soon as possible. Okay, don't sit back on it, because what happens a lot of times is we have an idea, and a few years go by, and we see the idea on the television. That's because that idea in the universe was put out there, and someone else picked it up where you left it, instead of you taking it and bringing it from an idea from the universe into your mind on paper and into fruition. You let someone else grab that star instead of you. So, and these people making millions of dollars while you sitting there like thinking, oh my God, why didn't I act on that? The only difference between people that are considered a genius and, let's say, ordinary people is that the geniuses believe in themselves. That the self-conception, perception of themselves, and those concepts they came up with, they believe in them, and so therefore they act upon them. So if you act upon your ideas, guess what? And you believe in yourself. You focus. You practice the law of use. You practice the law of concentration, the law of attraction. The things that you think, you dwell upon, you attract them to you, negative or positive. It's very important to realize that whether you think about the thoughts you have in your head, negative or positive, it's gonna come. So if you're thinking about catching that case, you thinking about going to jail, it's gonna come. If you're thinking about becoming that multi-millionaire who's gonna break the curse in your family that of financial lack, that's going to come. You're going to break that. You're going to be the one to break that. If you're dwelling upon you owning that house, paid for, cash, not prayed for, but paid for, you're going to get it. That's going to come because you're dwelling upon it. So you're making moves, and the universe comes into agreement with you. And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for listening to the importance of feeding your mind. And I thank you all. I thank you for support. Have a blessed New Year's. If I didn't tell you that before, it's your first time tuning in. Catch me every Wednesday at 7. Tonight, we just happened to start off super duper late because we're getting ready for the MLK parade. And so this night was the last night. So every night will be at 7. But think about it. The super subconscious mind and the super conscious mind are two different things. You need to tap more into your conscious mind, the creative intelligence. Get that juiced up. Feed yourself right. You deserve the best, and you will obtain it. Anything you think or imagine can come into fruition. May God bless you all. I thank you all, and I hope many of your dreams, all of your dreams and goals come true. My name is Kevin Dorival. It has been a pleasure. I love you. God bless you. And peace.